Peace and magic to all the deities tuned in to this new episode of Influence is Communication with Issue Part 3. So, into this part, today we're going to get into pretty much like HooDoo and Botanica. So, how are you going to get started with this? It's like, okay, so it's like y'all got to realize like what a stigma is. And like, people put bad stigmas on shit that's actually good for you. So it's like, in this video, we're going to try to get rid of the fucked up stigma that is on HooDoo. Because HooDoo is actually very simple, and people use HooDoo on a daily basis and don't realize how often that they use it or whatever. So today's self-development, we going to dive deeper into HooDoo, which is botanical, which is just plant healing and all that shit. And like, let's just get into it, y'all. I'm hyped about this video because I know this is going to fill in a lot of question marks for people. This subject of HooDoo is going to fill in a lot of question marks for people. It is. So, as always, let's get into this. Like, in order to understand HooDoo or whatever, we know that HooDoo focused primarily on botanical. And so, in order to understand what botanical is, like, you gotta look up the word origins for this shit. This is just the influence is communication is just a combination of word origins. But in this one, it's kind of we're focusing more on light work. So we're going to take the things that we learned from word origins and we're still going to apply it in this series. We just doing light work with it. So what is botanical? Botanical is the study of cultivation of plants. So on this channel, I'm saying in pretty much every video y'all see, we focus on energy work. So energy is all around us, and the best energy that you can take in is from nature, natural energy. Nature's got its own principles. That's where the unlimited energy and all that shit come from, or whatever. Like, it's biblical. Like, but y'all so turned against nature and like the healing factors of nature that y'all don't even realize it. Like, even in like Christianity, where they sit up and said the serpent pretty much got Adam and Eve to eat the apple and all that shit or whatever, but people don't realize like that serpent was a part of nature. It was a part of nature. So it's like they give shit negative stigmas because they don't want people to fuck with it. So it's like if you scared of nature, anything nature wise, you are scared of yourself. You scared of yourself. And it's like first and foremost, like plants are alive, and anything that's alive gives off energy. Plants are alive. Like, if I don't know if y'all paid attention through science classes in school and all that shit, but the first thing I really know about plants, the first thing I really took an interest in plants was like biology and all that shit. When we started learning about photosynthesis and all that shit, and how plants require sunlight in order to produce the shit that they need to survive and continue to keep thriving and growing. So plants are alive. Like, they give off very powerful healing energy. Plants got a lot to offer. Plants really do have a lot to offer. Like, they really do. Like animals as well. Like a snake poisonous bite can be turned into an antidote for something. It's just you just gotta study this shit and understand how energy and all that shit, energy exchange, and how like chemicals and all that shit can like mix work to help the body heal and all that good shit or whatever. So it's a very powerful natural energy that can consistently heal people. Majority of botanicals, when consumed, can change emotions, aka frequencies. Before the current construct of today's medical society, hoodoo or use of plants to heal was the natural and safe way to effectively heal any diseased individual. And it's like, in order to understand a lot of shit, you got to understand the words that you're reading. And like I said, we're going to keep constantly taking things that we learn from word origins and apply it to this series as well. because at the end of the day, all this shit you gotta combine and be balanced. Like adding information that you receive from the light, information that you receive from the darkness, and balance that shit out together. That's the only way shit is going to make sense. So even the word disease, like if you take the D and the I off, it means ease. Ease your pain, ease the disease. Like plants is the safest way to do that shit. And it's like we gonna get into it why in the next word origins with Lucifer. That one is going to be about voodoo. That one gonna be deep as fuck, and this one is going to make much more sense. That's why I started with HooDoo first, because HooDoo is just like a natural base thing. It's just focused on like plants and animals and other shit or whatever. But we gonna stick to the botanical part about it for right now. For right now. But I promise y'all in the next video of word origins with Lucifer, you will understand why I tried to separate the two the way I did. Okay? So pretty much like society, or we gonna call names. I ain't no bitch ass nigga, so I'ma just call names. We gonna say the Rockefellers. It was the Rockefellers, the Rockefeller Jewish family. They pretty much bought today's current health system into play. And what I mean by bought, they pretty much bought politicians to outlaw this practice of hoodoo, like natural healing and all that shit. Like you it's so fucking funny. Like I'm trying to hold this shit in. Like it's so many ways I want to express like how much they have fucked the world up just with this small move of like getting rid of natural healing and adding like the chemical aspect to it. Because it's like it ain't even like chemicals that help you and all that shit. It's just like poisonous chemicals that they replace hoodoo with. And they do all this shit because of profit or whatever. Like money is the motive of all this shit. And once you realize that greed tells everything. Because greedy people are predictable because they only focused on one thing, money. That's the common denominator with all greedy people. They're focused only on money or whatever. So hoodoo was a very big thing for people back then before the current medical system took over. And as I spoke on, even with Christianity, or how they look as a snake as a bad thing, like y'all go to hospitals and like pretty much medical insurance places and hospitals, they all got snakes as a logo. But y'all don't fuck with snakes. Like let that make sense. Y'all don't fuck with snakes, but yet y'all fuck with hospitals. The majority of all these hospitals, they use the staff and the snake as their logo. Think about that shit. Think about that shit. Just take a second and think about how backward society be, because motherfuckers get mad at me when I speak the truth about shit. Like a lot of people get mad at me because I speak the truth about the shit that's going on in the world. Like I'm here to tell y'all, I'm here to break y'all illusion built reality with common sense. Just right in front of your face. If y'all choose to keep denying that shit, then that's on y'all. But we gonna get back to what we was talking about, which is hoodoo. And it's like it's used to heal the natural in a safe way to effectively heal any disease, hence the ease and disease. This was before using magnet. This was before using magic was a negative stigma with the witchcraft label. But the medicine used currently is still witchcraft. Like y'all can do y'all research on what witchcraft is. Like even in movies, like they show pretty much witchcraft is like mixing potions and different types of chemicals and all that shit. Like hoodoo was like the first form of that shit or whatever, especially for like healing wise or whatever. Like you can even they make it's the reason why marijuana being legalized so heavy it is now or whatever. But it's like even with marijuana, you got to be careful with it because a lot of people don't realize like the original marijuana plant was hemp. Like all these dispensaries and all that shit and all the street weed shit, all this THC added shit is not natural. It's just some chemicals added to like some natural shit or whatever. So it's just like marijuana does help, but it's like you got to be careful with how much THC is included in marijuana. because that shit will fuck your mind up and you won't even realize that shit's fucked up. You will not realize that shit. And people, majority of people, you can be addicted to marijuana. Like, don't sit here and let nobody tell you that you can't be addicted to marijuana or whatever. But if you find yourself getting irritated because you haven't smoked, you're addicted. If you find yourself can't function throughout your day because you haven't smoked some weed, you're addicted. That's just the truth of the matter. Like, if you're taking that shit for a medical need or whatever, like, just go every other day. I'm pretty sure you can last one day without smoking weed. Don't let that shit control you. Do not let that shit control you. Like, just try to manage to stay sober at least 4 days out the week out of 7. Like, if you can manage to be sober more than you're high, then you have learned to balance that shit out. But if you are high more than you're sober, then it's like you're running away from yourself and you're running away from reality and all that shit or whatever. Like, stop running from yourself. Like, be accountable for your addictions that you have, people. Because there are plants out here that can help you heal with a lot of shit, but it's like once you abuse them, then it's like it ain't the intentions behind it is like fucking your body up because your mind is a powerful thing. So it's like when you take these drugs or whatever, these natural drugs such as shrooms and marijuana and other shit like DMT or whatever, like the high is based on what your intentions is behind you taking it. So if you just abusing this shit, it's gonna abuse you back. Like life is all about intentions. Like people don't realize how powerful energy is. So it's like it's always important to keep your intentions pure. And the only way to keep your intentions pure is to like want to be a better person on a consistent basis. That's the only way you can keep your energy pure is trying to be a better person on a consistent basis. Like just be better, people. That's it's so simple. Like killing with kindness. It's the true balance. Like I know we all got people we want to beat the fuck out of, but it's like just kill them with kindness. Let karma do the work for you. Save your energy. Keep moving forward. Save your energy and let karma do the work for you. So anyway, like the whole big pharma situation, it's like it's based off deadly unnatural chemicals. This is still considered magic due to the desired effect of a controlled state to profit off illness continually. Meaning they give you sickness that you willingly pay for. Meaning y'all pay to get sick. When you go to a hospital, a lot of times, majority of y'all go to hospitals, it don't really be shit wrong with y'all. It don't. Unless you got a broken bone or some shit or whatever, it really don't be shit wrong with y'all. Like, people gotta understand, like, doctors are only there to make a educated guess. They're only there for a educated guess of what's wrong with you. You describe your symptoms and they pretty much play off what you describe. That's all they do. It's just giving an educated guess of what the fuck is going on with you or whatever. And it's like, to sum it up, you have been magically manipulated to not acknowledge how nature can heal for free and fix all issues with the body. So it's just like, pretty much, it's like y'all, and today is Earth Day. So this video might be posted later on down the line. Today is Earth Day. So it's like if you believe COVID is real and all that shit, and you believe hospitals and doctors are here to save people's lives or whatever, don't let Happy Earth Day come out your mouth. Please don't. Because that shit, again, it's like backwards as fuck. As we going back to saying, like, people be like, they don't fuck with snakes and all that shit, be the first ones to go to a hospital and all that shit when something wrong with them. It's backwards as fuck. It's backwards as fuck. And it's like in America, the health for profit push started with the oligarchs. The oligarchs named the Rockefellers, as I previously just mentioned early on in the video. They use philanthropy as a cover and use well-named college institutions to create these deadly and poisonous drugs through the cover of philanthropy. To get straight to the point, philanthropists just experiment on the world's population. That was explained in a whole nother video in Word Origins or whatever. So it's just like, if you follow the money trail with a lot of shit, You understand what the fuck is going on. You understand the bigger picture in life. And the bigger picture in life is the world is enslaved by the world government. And it's like, it's all about energy. It's all about energy manipulation and keeping people stupid, keeping people stupid as possible. And the best way to do that is to disconnect people from nature. And right now, at this point in time, people ain't never been this much disconnected as a whole as the world is right now. And it's only gonna get worse as the days progress. As you see those who starting to step into their powers, you just constantly see the others start to drift further and further away from being grounded to nature. Nature is beautiful, man. People don't realize like nature is fucking beautiful. It's artwork. It's just natural artwork. You can go outside right now and just look outside, be it whether it's dark or it's light outside. Nature is beautiful. Like nature can heal us in so many ways. Like people don't even realize that shit because people moving so fast in life that they don't have the time to slow down and like just appreciate the beauty of life. They don't appreciate the beauty of life, but it's like it's the Matrix. It's a simulation. It's codes everywhere. I see everything. I see the bullshit in people. I hear people's thoughts. I see people energy on a constant basis. So it's like you can't bullshit me. You can't. Regardless of what you tell me about me, I always hold myself accountable for the decisions that I make. And it's like I can't turn against my moral compass for other people's insecurities and the fact that they can't hold their own selves accountable of the bullshit that's going around us. And it's like nature is plays such an important part. And it's like it's sad to see that people have turned their back so much on nature. People have forgotten how far we've fallen from nature. And it's like at this point, a lot of people only do they 9 to 5s and all that shit now is because they don't want to be homeless. Because if you don't want to be homeless, I look at it as like you scared of nature. Think about that shit. People do not want to be homeless because they don't want to live outside. Sounds stupid as fuck, right? Yeah, that's the world right now. People are stupid as fuck. And I could speak on the fear of being homeless. I honestly can because it's at first it's like it's not really a situation that you can accept, but it's like why the fuck do people like stress their life out just to keep a house that you don't own? You literally do not own it. If somebody's telling you what the fuck you gotta do to keep that shit, or you gotta make payments to keep that shit, you do not own that shit. I'm sorry, you do not own that shit. And that's just as real as it's gonna get. You do not own that shit. So it's like at this point, people be scared to be homeless, and that's why they constantly keep working jobs because they don't want to live outside. So it's like y'all scared of nature at that point. Like let's be real. I felt the same way too at first, but it's like once you go through that shit, you just realize like how out of touch people are in life, and it's like the biggest fear is for a lot of people to be homeless because they're scared to live in the elements because they've been programmed so hard that in order to be successful in life and all that shit, you gotta have money in the crib and material shit to prove that. But it's like all that shit is temporary. It's temporary as fuck. Like I worship nature. I bow down to Mother Nature. That's the best way to put it. Like you gotta bow down to Mother Nature. You can't be scared of that shit. Cause it's like at the end of the day, if this society collapse, all you got is nature to survive in. The materials are there. People just scared to use them because people are so programmed to be materialistic and to just be TVs, digital devices like microwaves, uh, what else? In-home showers. People are just so dependent on technology. Like the shit is fucking scary. Like the shit is fucking scary at this point. Not to me, but it's just like scary how heavily brainwashed people are. It's very scary. So it's like whatever you going through, whatever body ailments that you have, I guarantee there's plants, anything involved in nature that can definitely help you with your issues. You just got to do the research on that shit or whatever. Like, this is the age of information. I'm constantly keep saying this shit. It's too much information. Like I just said, people depend on technology so much, but they use technology for the wrong shit. Instead of getting on your fucking technological device or devices or whatever and getting on social media and all that shit, go Google. Go Google how to build a tent. Go Google how to build a fire. Go Google how to fish, how to hunt, how to harness water. Like, go do all that shit. Cause it's like you'll be proud of yourself if you learn how to be self-sufficient through nature. Like, you'll tap into a side of yourself that you never knew existed or whatever. But it's like a lot of people not gonna do that because they fear that shit. They fear being homeless. They fear, so they focus on other shit to avoid that. And it's like we gonna leave that shit we gonna leave that shit how it is or whatever. So it's like at this point, people like, yeah, just Google. Google is free, man. Google is free. As a deity, I'm speaking to y'all on how important it is to get in touch with nature and understand that nature is the ultimate healer of your body and your spirit and your mind. I am so much evidence of that shit. I am. And on that note, deity gang, I'ma holler at y'all later. Stay tuned for Word Origins with Lucifer. And also, me and the missus also have another YouTube page called The Mothership. We recently just dropped a video, so stay tuned to that getting posted. Y'all definitely gonna fuck with the Unity series on The Mothership. Pretty much we just talking about different concepts of different ways to obtain unity within yourself and with others around you for those who are trying to build communities. Because you got to surround yourself with like-minded spirits and like-minded individuals. Because it's like, if you don't, yeah, you're a powerful individual alone, but it's like, as a community, imagine the things you can do with a community full of people like you, full of people with the same mindset as you. So it's like, until next time, people, stay dangerous. I love y'all. You can achieve anything in life if you put your heart and your mind to it together and kill people with kindness. That's all you got to do. Be grateful for life and keep that blessed perspective always. No such thing as a bad thing. No such thing as bad luck. It's just challenges. Keep the perspective and understand that everything that you go through is a challenge and you'll win. I promise you, you'll win. Just stay focused. Stay focused.